this one we got to remember not to hit the 30 days. We had one of my shows where we hit the 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
All my triple wrap infinities.
Yeah.
So the archive is no longer out there on Facebook.
Right. Oh, so what do you say instead?
Just not. You get an option.
Yeah.
Just make sure you save it forever.
Oh, alrighty. I can do that. Alrighty. Hello, hello. We have a few folks hopping on. Bless you. Thank you. We appreciate you doing that. And I have a lot to cover, so I probably should get started pretty darn quickly. Let me think. Shall I? So I'm going to start with demos, and so I'll do a demo of this bracelet called Crossroads, and then we'll have those kits available. And I'll do a demo on this next bracelet, which is called Skala, and then we'll do those kits. Last, we'll do a demo of our new bracelet that we call RocknRoller. And after that, we'll have 5 or 6 different variations of this kit colorway available. And then we've got a whole bunch of really fun Czech beads. So yay. But to get us started, Ed's right here. He's going to tell you about deals and all that, because we got lots of good fun stuff going on. We're excited about that.
Yeah, we're coming to you live from the center of historic downtown Stoughton, and it's the Ed and Becky Show. And we have a little special deal today. Now through Christmas, if you just spend $20, you get free shipping, and everyone can do that for sure. And otherwise, it's $5.95. And if you get either 3 kits or 5 strands, certainly you can get both, but if you get either one of those or more, you get 20% off your entire order. And we'll keep track of that. And so it's give you not only on just the kits to honor the kit sale, but on the strands as well. So we'll be turning on the web carts for these bracelets soon, so you could also order them directly on the web and use coupon code KIT20 if you just want some of the kits. But it's worthwhile to sit for the demo. These again are easy and fun, and Becky's going to take over.
Thanks, hon. Oh, hey, guess what? I just saw Julie Peterson is on. Oh, and there's a thing that says bring them on camera. I should have asked you about this. I don't know how that works. I would love to try it. The reason I'm excited is that Julie is our winner of a free bracelet kit. And she, among a nice handful of others, many of you, I think, and bless you, thank you, we really appreciate the feedback. She weighed in on which one was her favorite, and it was Crossroad with Skala as the second. So we'll plan to send her a Crossroad bracelet, unless you'd rather have a Skala. So let us know. And thank you. Alrighty, so I'm going to get to getting, and again, thank you to everybody who took the time to give us some feedback, because we need it and we appreciate it, and that's how we design stuff. Yeah, you know me, I'm not a big counter, but I know that we had plenty, and it was very helpful, and it was nice to see that there was people who liked a little bit of everything. Anyway, you know what? I should slow down. I sit here and I get going, and then I forget what I want to do. So what I am wanting to do you guys remember Tori, who used to do videos on Goody Beads? And she would do our kits, and I loved how she did our kits. And I always just kind of go fast and furious and try to make everything, as easy as it is. And she was much more chill and relaxed and, let's hang out. And that was really more the vibe. But what it occurred to me is I could do, whoopsie, I'll never do it like Tori. But what I wanted to do was, since these are new and they are so easy, I did want to show, like you saw how, little kit comes, it's got everything you need, the focal beads, the beads that are, that we have in plenty, the leather, the button, everything you need is there. And then we've got super simple instructions. So, and all of the instructions have pictures so that it is easy to give this as a gift or engage somebody who's not super familiar but willing to read through some instructions. But they're so simple anyway, you really hardly need, well, you don't need instructions to make it easy, but that certainly does. So I'm going to show you, like so many of our bracelets, this is done with 2 strands of leather, or 1 strand of leather that's doubled and strung on a button. So we simply string the leather on, and either way works. This way is more domed right side up. You could certainly put it on the other way. And here I'm going to simply do an overhand knot. Easy peasy. And I like the knot to be just a little bit outside the edge of the button so that there's room underneath here for the knot on the return when you're latching it. So, and I tend to be pretty picky about my knots being nice and even and not overlapping. So there we go. Make that happen. Indeed. So what we're going to do then is, this is 1.5 mil leather on this bracelet, and of course, like all of our kits, we size things so that they will work well when you're making what you're making. And ideally, we shouldn't have leather that's too thick or too thin or otherwise. We really do pay close attention to that, and if ever we don't, and if we've missed it, you will let us know, and we will take care of it, and that's all good. So what we're doing here, these are size 5 beads, and kind of the easiest way to get them on, I think, is just lay them down and scoop them up. If you're using a more traditional beading mat, this method works even better. And if you look at the pattern, it isn't required that you put any number of these on before you add a little spacer, but I'm going to put one on now. You know, I'm looking at, when I'm making decisions about what's being strung where, let's put this way, I'm looking at things like, where is the center going to end up being, and how much length do I have, and how many goodies do I have. So in this kit, you've got a center bead, 2 side beads for the center, for the focal, and then 6 decorative beads. So you've got 2 of these little triangles, cornerless cubes, and then for each side, and then 1 of this little fancy bead. So each side gets some of those. And I just figure out where do I want those to lay ahead of time so that I don't end up with them, you know, too far to the back, because I really like this bead and this bead. So I like, you know, I want those to be kind of toward the front. And when you're testing, you know, you put your button to the back, in the middle, and then figure out, wrapping it around, where's that going to land, and that gives you the approximate amount of beads, or the length that you would need to fill up before you put your focal beads on. And so the one thing I wanted to share with this, so this is, as you can see, very straightforward. You're just stringing beads on, and don't forget to put your pretty specials on there. So sometimes I might separate these all out and just put the ones that need to go on this half, or on this strand, and then, or this half of the bracelet actually, and then put the centers on, and then the remainder on the other side. But what I wanted to show you, I've had a bracelet like this for a long time, so I took mine apart because I wanted to, so forgive the cruddy leather. You can tell this has been a well-loved bracelet. But I wanted to show you that once you've gotten the first parts strung, and you put your center bead on, it's kind of helpful to lay it down. Like if I had, this is the perfect number of beads. They're not, but each side isn't exactly the same length. This side is just a little longer because I like it when it lays to not be exact, and I want this focal, or this little accent bead to snug up against the focal So I've specifically positioned it so that, like I say, if you measured these two strands, they're not, the amount of beads on them isn't the exact same, and they're slightly different. And that's worth playing around with once you put your center bead on, so that you like how you don't want this to be just absolutely snug together, or you don't want one side to be too loose. So if you make it a point to try to test and know where your center is going to be, and then put your next strands or your next beads on, all will be well. And that is that. Because this is old. Question? Oh, you got your sheets. Alrighty. So we'll just be continuing on, filling each strand with beads until you get to the point where you are, when you wrap it around, here's how I like to size. Imagine that this knot wasn't here, and I've brought the bracelet all the way around my wrist. So I've got the button and the beads. At the point where the beaded portion, which is all this, meets the edge of the button, that's where you know it's time to tie the first knot. And so you do an overhand knot here, and then another one, and snug these knots up really nice, because if you don't, if they're loosey-goosey, they'll tighten up when you wear it, and then the bracelet will seem like it is stretched, and it has. It's gotten a little longer because the knots have tightened, and that's made the overall length longer. So, and you want that second knot to be just about right where the, just so that the button can get through easily. And then I add a few extra beads, and there we go. Boom. So this is called Crossroads. Right now, this is the only color that we have. And I am going to show you. We are looking at some other options. So actually, Ed had to run upstairs for a moment, and he's my guy to write stuff down if anybody orders things. But right now I wanted to show you these two. These are two other colorways that I wanted to run by us today anyway. So this is the one that we'll be having available for sale. And these are two others. And then there's a deep green that I've been playing with. My challenge is finding really lovely beads in this size. I like the size. These are size 5/0s. Nice big holes that makes it easy to use 1.5 millimeter leather. But it also, there's a limited number of colors that feel like they're suitable for a bracelet like this. So in this case, this is a unicorn bead that's in the middle. And so he's kind of cool. He's purple on one side with some sparklies. And then kind of an interesting, fun, iridescent greenish color on the other side. I did that up with copper, kind of a peachy, rosy color. And then this is, of course, just a very simple black silver. That's an onyx in the middle with a large hole, and matte black beads. So I'd be curious as to your opinion on any of those. And next we're going to grab our lot one, which is the Crossroads bracelet. So there we go. Not the bracelet, but the kit, rather, because that's what we are selling today. So lot one, these are $24, and they come with all of the ingredients that you saw, including the center, which is a really fun raku bead. I love clay beads always, but raku is a special kind of good fun. And each of these, they're all unique and handmade. These are made in Greece, and they are
about 12 millimeter?
Yeah, that's about right.
10 to 12 millimeter.
Yeah, they're probably close to 12 mil. Nice big hole, useful for all kinds of things. And yeah, I wish I could make them myself. So I'm gonna go get a drink of water quick so I don't cough.
So we hope to have more colorways of Scott.
Opinions on those too.
Oh yeah. These are some ones that we had done in the past. We don't have them officially as kits yet, but one is kind of on the black tones, has a large hole onyx bead, and I'd certainly want to make sure we could get plenty of that focal bead for the. This is the colorway we use in what we call Tuscan Villa on stepping stones. But anyway, right now we're calling our one colorway classic Raku, and I see Lisa and Brenda. And Brenda must be done with the tractor pull season. Glad to have you back, Brenda. And Bradley Ann. I also sent you some pictures, Bradley Ann, so be looking for those on your cell phone. But anyway, if anyone wants lot number one, we'll get you written down. Otherwise, Becky will keep moving on.
Alrighty. Thanks, honey, for filling in. Oh, all right. So I have been out most this week working from home because I've had this nice little crud that so many people have these days. And I apologize.
Non-COVID.
Yeah, non-COVID. I've done more COVID tests in the last week, 2 weeks than I have ever before together because I wanted to just be very sure I wasn't passing that along to anybody. But but there's just a crud out there. My son is in healthcare and he said that's the scoop right now. Lots of stuff that's not lovely. All right, so we are going to move on to, and again, I apologize. I don't mean to be rasping in everybody's ears. So actually, we're not going to do that one quite yet. So here is Skala. Yay. The bracelet is right here. And this is another super simple. The first one was just, well, they're all just stringing basically, but, well, you'll see. I don't even need to describe it. I'll just do it because that's easy peasy. So like before, the instructions are very complete. They come with pictures and all of the ingredients, basic instructions, a full-length picture so you can see just how the whole thing goes together. And then on the back, Eddie always does a fun little diagram so that if diagrams are your happy place, then you can have a better, easy way to see exactly how it goes together. And then there's always some tips and ideas for how to size and so on. So in this case, you get all those beads, and we make sure that you have the right, a good assortment, and that most of them fit. I'm going to say this once in a while. There's a bead in the pack that has got a small hole. Let me see if I can find one here. Well, no, I don't need to do that. Trust me, once in a while there's a bead with a small hole. We try to pull them out before they even get into the kits, but if you get a bead with a small hole, no worries, you can use it for something else. We're giving you always extra beads, so you don't have to worry that if one has a small hole, you won't have enough to complete the bracelet. This, like all of our bracelets, has enough beads. Well, I shouldn't say all. This, like pretty much all of our bracelets, has enough beads to make an 8-inch bracelet, or to fit an 8-inch wrist. So here we are going to do the same as we did last time. Overhand knot, put the button on. I love these patina finishes on the buttons. They just add a fun look, and this goes nicely with the different colors of these beads. And these are two different brands of Czech beads from two different sources. And what I would love to share, so is just, I mean, obviously you can put them on however you like. I tend to truly be very, very random, and I don't make a lot of effort to, so that bead right there was a little snug, but you saw I have my leather cut to a nice point, so it went in just fine. I'm going to put 3 beads on, and of course I am paying some attention to not duplicating color. If I really wanted to, I could lay all these out. As you can see, there's, X number of segments, and there's basically 6 beads in each segment, if you look at it that way, before you go through a super large hole bead. And you could figure out which beads you wanted in there. Like I've tried to make sure my yellow beads are populating evenly, that the turquoise beads are populating evenly, because I feel like those are the ones that show the most. And then when you're making the center part of the bracelet, which is the one that, you know, the side that will show the most, I usually try to make sure that I am, what do I try to do, Ed? Oh, that I'm putting the prettiest beads that I like the best in the center area, because that's where they'll show and I'll see them most. So,
who's the master of the medley?
I'm the master of the medley, Edward. But only if I can make the beads stay on, which I'm trying to hold everything at once, being my squirrel personality. All right, so 3 beads go on each side, right? Nice, easy. Make sure they snug up the way you want them to. And our next move is going to be to put these really large chunky rollers on. And so these are roller beads, if you're not familiar with some of the Czech bead names. The ones I've been using are called, generically, they're called Rockale beads. And they come in lots of different sizes. They're sort of a squatty little bead. They're not perfectly round. And they're just yummy good. I like that they're a little bit irregular. And so for this next one, this bead is going to end up being positioned right here. And you get that by going through the big hole bead with each piece of leather in opposite direction. So I'm just going to go like so, pull it all the way through, and that's it. Easy peasy. So we're going to just keep on keeping on, and I'm paying a little bit of attention to, I have a turquoise bead on this side, I have a yellow bead over here. Like I said, I feel like those are the ones that stand out. So I'm going to pop a turquoise in over on this side and put less, you know, some of the, like that stripy bead. I like him too. He's a cool bead. Put one of those there. And then on the other side, we're going to do a yellow. We're going to just do one more through the big bead so that we have done it. So there we are, 3 beads on each. Really pretty easy. Can't you imagine doing this with like somebody who's never beaded before? And it's pretty straightforward. And some of this is really intended to be the kind of project that anybody could do with a little bit of encouragement or interest or willingness to learn something new. And to help people who will sometimes say they're not beaders, they're not into beading, but they can be into creating and they can be into making something. And that's really what we're trying to do here, is encourage people to make pretty things of their own. So basically, you just keep on keeping on with that pattern. That was pretty simple. And we're going all the way till those beads touch the edge of the button. That's our sign. Tie a knot, tie a knot, tie another knot, and then put on a few little accent beads, tie some knots to end that, and there we go. Another simple, easy, very wearable, very stackable, layerable bracelet. Bless you, Edward. And this is Lot 2 Skala bracelet, $28. And right now, this is our only colorway. We're also going to be pulling together some additional colorways for this bracelet.
And we're calling it Harvest Picasso because it uses the same beads that we use in the beading chain Harvest Picasso. Obviously a different size, but slightly different size. But just absolutely lovely and yummy, and can work any time of the year, not just in the harvest time or the fall. You know, beautiful, gorgeous fall colors, but can wear well all year round. It also would look very lovely in the spring as well. So, so Becky's just taking another quick break here. Just a reminder: if you haven't shopped with us before, that is we're glad that you're here. At the end of the show, just be sure to send a email to Becky@diakonosdesigns.com, Becky@diakonosdesigns.com. Why did we ask you to do that? So we know how to get a hold of you to send you an invoice that you can click on and pay, and then get your goodies emailed or mailed right to you. So, and again, we plan on mailing those more than likely tomorrow. We'll get to the invoices as we are able this afternoon, but we'll either get the invoices out today or later today, and we'll do all the mailing tomorrow. So, as we got our open house today. So back to Becky.
Yeah, as Ed said, we are, thanks guys for being here and for ordering with us. We appreciate that so much. And as Ed said, yeah, we have our open house today, or our grand reopening, because we have been kind of closed for a long time. Not closed, but limited hours because we were moving. And now we are back and doing regular business hours. Actually, that's not quite yet. I'm going to save it. And we are so glad. It's been so gratifying. For those of you, I know that I've seen some people that are watching who have been into the shop. And thank you. We are so grateful and appreciative of everybody who's made a point to stop by or call or, comment on Facebook with encouragement for what all we're up to. It has been a long season, and we are so grateful to be here. And grateful that everybody hung along with us. So, alrighty, here we go. RocknRoller. Why did we name it RocknRoller, Eddie? Did you explain that yet?
Rock and roll.
All right.
Rock and roll, baby. So these are Czech roller beads, and if you've got a good memory, we did a show back in back in probably spring. But these roller beads, so I don't know why they are called roller beads, other than that they have massive holes. They give you so many options of different things to do with them. They could even, in theory, almost go on 3mm bolo or 3mm leather. And they're perfect for a two strands of 1.5 are going to go through them here. So it's a Czech roller bead. So we're thinking, okay, these little cornerless cube spacers look like little rocks. So let's call it the RocknRoller. So that's how we came up with RocknRoller.
And who comes up with most of our product names?
I do. But Becky had some really good names, like Athena. We came up with Athena. One of these things you're going to see.
That was for colorways.
Yeah, we do. We kind of all share in the colorways, but so anyway.
All right, I'm going to try hard not to keep coughing. Thank you for covering. Thank you for your patience, everyone. So here we go. So this guy comes with all these wonderful fun beads. I love these beads. And 2 buttons, because one is the focal button, some low ovals, and we're going to have these available at the end of our beads. We'll have some of our oval rings available, as well as our little cornerless cubes, because those are all part of what makes this fun bracelet go together. And so that way you can pick and choose and put together something that is just perfect for you if you want to customize it. So we use the basic button for the starter button, and then the fancy one will go on in the middle. Nope. But here we'll do the same as we've done all along and do a simple overhand knot. And here we're using as heavy a 1mm leather as we can find, because I want to be able to get through everything. And some of these beads have a slightly smaller hole, and we want to be able to get through the button. So we're using thick 1mm leather. And I tell ya, leather is such a thing. Getting the perfect thickness is never easy, but I think we've kind of figured it out here. So again, we have all the instructions that we need, and it tells you with pictures, diagrams, and words exactly how to pull this together. And we're going to start with these little cornerless cube beads. And what's kind of fun about them, I think, is when you get them going and line them up. Oops, lost one.
Look at that amazing diagram. Who's your diagram master?
My husband does all my diagrams, and he's so good at it. He loves doing little diagrams. it's his happy place. And that along with making lots and lots of kits. So when they're lined up, they line up and the flat side connects. And it just makes for a nice, just a nice presentation when when you're using these beads side by side. So in our design, we're using, in that case, we put a bead on each strand of leather, and now we're putting a ring over both of them. This is a little like how we make our chevron bracelets. And there is a seam on these, and I often will try to make sure my seams are all on one side, but I will tell you in truth, I have sort of given that up because it's more trouble than it's worth, and once the whole thing's done, nobody notices. So I'd be curious, do y'all worry about stuff like that? And here's what I mean. Like here, you can see, you know, the seams, like there's a seam on that one, and then not here. And so I've been very irregular with it. Anyway, I am getting less picky about that sort of thing in my old age. So next we're going to put a bead on, and I like to think about the fact that in this case, especially with this bead, not every bead is like this, but as you can see, some of these beads are like super shiny and some are not. And so in this case, see how that has such a neat little like aurora borealis effect. And then about half of them are simple gold and gray. So I think about that, and I want to keep as many of my pretty beads for the center part of the bracelet as possible. So I'm going to put a less pretty bead on. Not that gray and gold is less pretty, but I'm loving that iridescence. So then we got that going, and then next is we're putting a ring over both of them, and then an individual bead on each. And I usually work just like this so that I'm as efficient as I can be, but you don't, you know, you can push them all the way down to the button end if you like. So that's that little set. And then we would put on another bead. And then I pay some attention to, like in my mind, there's a gray side, a gold side, and a shiny blue side, and I want to kind of vary that. And so here in the completed bracelet, which is over here, I'm thinking you can sort of see how that goes. You know, some of them have that iridescence. Oh my goodness, it's so cool. I think you're getting it on the shot. And so you can see, pretty straightforward, just string beads, rings, and you'll get until you get to approximately the center, which we'll of course measure again. There we go. And knowing where that is, I don't want to take all that time to bead, so I'm going to start with this one, where I have beaded it up. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 beads is about what I need to go all the way across, get to where I want it to be. And then underneath the button is the only thing that you do a little bit differently. Here, we're going to put 4 beads and then put on the button, and then 4 more beads. So that's 2 on each, and then 1 more ring and a bead, and you'll see it just, all of it just nicely snugs in there. And in this case, we're using this Terra Cast kind of concho bead, which I just really love. I think it's just a nice, fun, decorative, I think I said bead, but I meant button. I need 1 more. These beads. So then once you put your beads all on, there we go. The button just nicely snugs and settles. Spacing wise, it is, yeah, arranged so that really you've just got the beads right up next to the button with that little glint, and you'll just keep on keeping on until the bracelet's finished. So, all right, I will try to be more centered on the screen. I'm sorry, sometimes I get off and a little low. So, so there we go. Hopefully that all makes good sense, and then you're just going to keep on keeping on, and won't be long, and you're done. And these bracelets all take, probably that one is the one that takes the longest, and it's no longer than like probably
45 minutes.
45 minutes or an hour. Yep. I'm thinking. So that one is called Crown Royal, is our colorway, right, Eddie?
Yeah. So I'll give you a quick thing, you know, just like with a lot of our bracelets that where you need a center, you put the, when you're halfway done, you put the button on your center vein of your wrist, and then you come around and say, okay, is this where I want it to be? We did put some tips in the instructions. If you have a 6.5 inch wrist, which is pretty average, it works good to have 8 beads on the starting path, just like Becky's example did, and then you need about 7 on the second path, which is fine to have less because you have that button loop. So, and we give you a total of 18 beads, so there's always enough to make at least a 9-inch bracelet if you have a very large wrist. But just know that if it's, you know, if you're a little smaller than 6.5, maybe go 7 and 7. If you're a little larger than 6.5, you go 8 and 8, and it just kind of goes from there. But you can always do that wrist check when you're halfway done too, and say, okay, have I beaded so that when I put this halfway around my wrist, does the button come up to the top? Here's another thought. If you have a shank, if you have a very special button at home and the shank matches this shank, you could certainly turn, you know, put the concho over here and put your very special button in the center as well. So it does serve that purpose as well.
You know, honestly, I'm really glad you mentioned that, Eddie. A few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, a friend of mine came in and wanted to make a bracelet for her friend that used her dad's old school buttons from a band uniform that he wore. And so she had snipped those buttons off her dad's band uniform and made one for herself, one for her friend, a cordoni bracelet in that case. But there's no reason you couldn't use any shank button. And what a fun way to, like, honestly use, yeah, I mean, I've got lots of sweet remembrances like that. And that would be a beautiful way to put one to use and actually use it and wear it instead of having it sitting in a drawer or a closet. Anyway, all right, so we are on the Crown Royal RocknRoller, and that is lot number 3. This guy comes, it's all brass and gold and blue leather and beads that are, well, you can see them. They're yummy good. And we will have these beads alone as a product for you to buy in coming up. So, alrighty, so that was lot 3. Lot 4 is another colorway. And we've got a few. This one we call Southwest. We almost always try to do something in what we call Southwest, which typically uses something turquoisey and then gold or copper. So in this case, we are using these beautiful turquoise beads. And as you can see, we've got 2 different styles of turquoise here today. This one, the one that we used in the Skala didn't have a coating on it, and this one has kind of a really nice bronzy iridescent coating that's kind of lovely. So, and it comes with the copper concho, and then as you can see, same as I demonstrated, the 4 beads go underneath, and silver cornerless cubes in copper rings. And so again, a very easy, simple bracelet for anybody to put together. And it just, you know, we try to have fun projects that look a little more complicated than they are so that they're not too much work and all the fun. So $28 for Lot 4, which is the Southwest kit in RocknRoller. All right, next colorway is what we call Frozen, and kind of works with the frozen north that we're living in right now. We've got our first snowfalls happening. When was it? Tuesday, Wednesday? We had our first official snowfall.
Every day, but Tuesday was the big.
Yeah, but it has flurried every day, as Eddie said. So this is now lot 5. I think we can see all that okay. And let's see. These beads are wonderful, silver lined and silver colored, so clearish, but with a coating, and just a really lovely icy looking kind of bead that's really kind of fun. So the spacers are silver and the rings are gold. So a nice mix. You know, there's a lot of jewelry, a lot of watches are silver and gold. This would be beautiful up against any of them or next to. And a very nice neutral look.
And if you pause the Disney movie, you can actually see Ilsa and Anna wearing one of these.
Oh, you're funny. All right, so lot 5 would be the Frozen colorway of RocknRoller. All right, 6 is the colorway that we're calling Athena. And this is a really beautiful, I just love this bead. It's a matte gold that just has such an interesting look. It's translucent-ish. It just looks like quartz or something, but it's Czech glass. It's got a gold lining, and this is just done to be a very understated bracelet. This is lot 6, and it has brass, lots of brass. So a very monochromatic, yet distinctive colorway. Eddie is over there talking to his phone. He is the king of Googling, you know, using the voice command. And if Google doesn't respond immediately, he will speak louder or more sternly. And sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. And so then we laugh at the things that the Google brings up when Mr. Gooseman is trying to insist the Google tell him something. So what has the Google told you today, Mr. Gooseman?
She's a protectress. She was well, you know, she was a goddess of war. More importantly, she was a goddess of handicraft and practical reason. So she made things. She was a god of making things with her hands.
Smart and reasonable.
And practical reason, yes.
Wow, like so many women in your life.
That's right.
Creative and reasonable.
Yes. I'll have to start calling you Athena.
Yeah, that would be a good nickname, Athena. All right, so lot 6, Athena colorway. And if you have any tips on being reasonable and creative, just let me know. I'm always looking. All right, we've got our black Picasso. We always try to do something in most of our colors, or in most of our new kits, we try to do something in the black, white, silver mode, and that's what we have here. So these are black Picasso beads, and then silver and antique silver for the rings. And again, we're going to have the rings and beads, all the beads, the little ones here, the cornerless cubes and the roller beads in just a little bit. And you can order if you like some of the concept here, but you want to change it up and maybe do this all in, you know, a whole different color. You certainly can do that if you ordered the kit, and then you could swap out components if you like. So this is black Picasso. The beads are opaque. They've got a little bit of, you know, just that Picassoing, a little bit of goldy, greeny, gray, beigey on top of the black. And they are beautiful. So lot 7 is the black Picasso. And lot 8, this is the last. So the last of the kits. And this one isn't on the web because we're trying to only do 5 of every colorway, and this was one that I experimented with. But I have to say, I am very pleased with this bead and with this look. So it doesn't really have a nice name like the other ones because Eddie didn't help me name it. I had to just name it, and I named it Burnished Blue Bee Kit. Burnished Blue and Bronze is probably what that was. That's just my my shorthand. But what you can't see in this light, and I had to go take it outside when I was first working with it, is this is just the coolest bead. We'll have the bead separately later, but it's this like blue black. It's a really like a very deep sapphire blue, and it has a gold bronzy finish on top of it, so it's got just a very antique-y kind of look. And I don't know, I loved the beads, so I really wanted to do a kit with it, but we don't have a ton of them. And but anyway, I'm curious to see if others like it as well. So, and this one we did up with all brass as well, mostly because the coating on the beads is brass, so it felt like matching that was good, and it was a good backdrop for making the beads really shine. So there we go. Lot 8 is Burnished Blue RocknRoller, and this is one that isn't on the website. So everything else that we've seen so far will be on the website. Have you put it up there yet, Eddie, or you're gonna? The
web was live at noon as promised.
Okay, so. But this one isn't there and may not ever be there. We'll have to see. But there you go. So lot 8. Now we're going to move on to beads. So first, first but not last. Oh my goodness. First but not least. I'm going to leave those there for a moment.
So most of these strands are these little maybe 6-inch strands. You're getting about 25-ish, 25-ish beads per strand. So keep that in mind as you do your planning. You got more than enough to make. If you've got the right size wrist, you could possibly make a RocknRoller with this and have 7 or 8 left over to make a Skala. So keep that in mind. So Becky is back, and we're going to start off with lot number 9, Match Gold, and we're going to fly through these so we don't.
We are.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm going to go fast because it's just beads, and we can be fast now. So. Thank you, and again, my apologies for all the coughing. That's so ungood. Anyway, so this was a bead we already saw, so I'm not going to belabor it. Pretty gold. These are 6x9, large hole. Just a distinctive, lovely bead. And there it is. Lot 10 is a gold bead that doesn't have finish or coating on the top, but it has finish in the middle or in the inside. So it's a lined bead with gold, and the bead itself is kind of gold and amber. There, I'll put it on the white, that helps. And just a very pretty, sparkly, distinctive bead. Very holiday-ish, and would be actually nice with that the one that we just had with lot 9. mixed in. And all of these, for ease, we've made all of our kits with just one strand of beads. But there's nothing that says you can't, if you've got a bunch of beads, mix them up. That would be so pretty. Very, very, very lovely. Actually, I should make one up like that. That would be smart. Anyway, all right. So lot 10, sparkly gold, $12. And these are the roller beads. Lot 11 is the black. And this is a nice Picasso finish. Again, we talked about it when we were showing the bracelet kit. And these are all $12, 25 beads per. And the whole is, you can fit 3 mil leather into these.
At least 3.
And certainly 2 strands of 1 mil, or 2 strands of 1.5, and 2 strands of 2 mil as well. So, alrighty, lot 11 is done. Lot 12. So these are a wonderful little amber, basically amber bead, and I'll put it on the white, is the base. And it's kind of translucent, but it's got a little bit of bluey greenish, and it's just yummy. And it feels very organic, very seashore-ish. It's just a very cool bead. We only have 4 strands, and it has kind of a crusty lining. It's not a gold lining, but it is a lovely lining. And so this one is, I feel like it's one of those colors that you get in Czech glass that's just classic. And you either love it or you're like, eh, but I kind of love it. So that is lot 12. Lot 13 is not a lot because I didn't have any beads left. So we're going to go right to lot 14. Lot 14 is sparkly amber. Oh, so that's this one. Sparkly amber. Oh, nope. They are a different price, so that's the issue. So this one, all right, we're just calling this lot 14. It is not as sparkly as the other one. The other one has a AB finish, so my mistake. So same concept, 6x9 large hole rollers, and this is a very lovely amber color that is great for fall, great for holiday.
More towards the center of the screen.
Okay, better. And so this is lot 14 for $12. And then lot 15 is $15. So this one is the more sparkly. It's amber color-wise, very similar. And it really is the finish. If you like a AB finish, it's not really even AB, you know, it's more that kind of bronzy metallic finish. It's definitely not AB, I shouldn't have said that. It's a metallic finish. So then lot 15 is the more sparkly amber. 16 is a beautiful gold lined red bead, and I should say metallic lined. It looks more silver actually now that I'm looking at it right here. Huh. I did these from home this week, and I did go outside to look at them. And this is kind of translucent-ish. Can I bring light in here and show you? Yeah, you can kind of see that, right? So they are translucent. And it's just a beautiful, very, very, very gorgeous, deep berry cherry red that would be lovely for holiday time or any time for what that's worth. I'm kind of a red girl, so, and they're only $12 for 25 little red beads. And as Eddie said, we've got deals. When you purchase, you get 20% off if you purchase 3 kits or 5 strands, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so not too hard to do, and then 20% off, so they get even a better deal. So these also are kind of translucent, and this is the beginning of our melon beads. So these also have a large hole, and you can fit 2mm leather through there for sure. And we've never had this color before of this bead. And look how pretty those are. Oh my, I should have realized that I could use this light. Yeah, very 7-Up bottle-y, I guess, color-ish, maybe. Aqua with that gold glint. It's a beautiful little distinctive bead. So
Coke bottle.
Coke bottle, yeah.
Yeah, 7-Up is very green.
Oh, that's right. Coke is
that color.
Do they even do bottles anymore? Is this like old as I'm thinking of sea glass you find on the beach.
Yeah.
Is that Coke bottles usually?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. All right, so lot 17, $8 for the pretty seafoam and gold. This guy we've had, it's a great basic bead, large hole, black with brown, and $8. These guys have all of these, 2, 4, 6, 8, 14, 16, 18, 20. So these guys have 20 beads, and they are large hole, can be used for all different kinds of fun things. We've done some demos on some of those before. Probably going to come up with some new kits that utilize the melon beads because they're just a fun look.
You put a magatama on top of it, and it can make a little pumpkin around fall time.
Oh, that's right.
Little pumpkin earring.
Yes, we had. I'll show you the colorway that we have. A color that we made pumpkins with. A customer really wanted pumpkin earrings, and they turned out really cute. So, all right, 19 is another 8mm large hole lemon. How about melon? Ay, ay, ay. And these are not translucent. They are completely opaque, and they're a beautiful combo yellow gold with a nice kind of a turquoise blue accent striping on there. So that is lot 19. We're gonna go to another tray. Put that back up there. So this is a cool bead. As you can see, I think there's a lot of iridescence on these. So this is lot 20, and these are a large hole and silver, but with truly some AB iridescence. You can see how that shows up with the light. Look at them there. Ooh, pretty. And these would be beautiful. We should have done frozen earrings or something with these because, oh my goodness, they're just stunning in that they have that bit of iridescence that shows up and just catches the light and looks lovely. So, all right, we've got 10 of those, $8, and we shall move on. So that was a silver version. We've got what is kind of a gold version of the same thing. So now this is lot 21, and they have also that iridescence that makes them just delightful. And these are 8mm large holes, 2mm leather, up to 2mm would fit in there without too much trouble. Well, no trouble at all, really. And this also has that beautiful iridescence. Oh my goodness. Could just see some wonderful, fun, understated holiday pieces done with, but you would wear, I mean, I would wear this all year long. It's not so gaudy that it would be overmuch for any time of year. Not that there's any gaudy beads, but like, honestly, if we're honest, there are some gaudy beads in the world. I don't think we have any of them, but there are gaudy beads in the world. So this is lot 22. And it is a beautiful kind of, I just described it as red-orange copper, because if you take a look, the accent is a really pretty copper, and then the beads definitely are red and orange, and they are, there you go, you see them there. They are translucent and lovely. If this is your colorway, then this could be your bead, and we will send it to you. 23 will be, oh, this is the pumpkin bead. So we used this bead, we call it mustard. It was this one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This yellowy one?
I wouldn't call that mustard, but it looks, you know, that's the one.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, yeah, we did do a pumpkin with that, but it looked really super cute, and that's exactly what she wanted. So, but yes, I think of it as a mustard color. Same thing, large hole.
Oh, the 20, I'm sorry,
Yay.
the 22 looks more like it, I thought. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Oh, you think? No, I thought it was this one. Anyway, all right. Well, so this is 23. We've just got 4 of these. It's a lovely, if you like mustard yellow, it's a nice rendition of it that is understated yet noticeable. So 23, 24 is and none of these are translucent, so I'm not going to show you with the light. They are, but this has a nice, a mottledness. There's a dark red and then a brighter, lighter red that shows up in there. And then the grooves are a dark brown. So that's part of what gives melon beads their distinctiveness. So lot 24 is $8 for a lovely red. Lot 25 is also an opaque bead that is turquoise and green with a kind of a bronzy metallic. I think I wrote gold, so it's goldish. Bronzy goldish, I guess I would say. And just a fun, lol, functional, useful, delightfully colored bead. That was 25. 26. We've had this one before. This is one of my favorite go-to worker beads when I'm making fun, distinctive, big girl jewelry, because I want it to have what looks to be like sort of an ancientness, and these are so good for that. So this you would fit 1.5 mil leather through. The holes are ever so slightly. So now we're moving into these big bicones or 8 mil bicones. It's a slightly smaller hole than the one that we just had, but I think you could probably fit 2 mil leather through these as well. Maybe not the fattest of 2 mils, but certainly a lot of 2 mil would fit through there. And as you can see, they are just a really yummy, good, it looks like old metal beads that you dug up on a trip. And those are my favorite beads, the ones that look like you dug them up. So, well, I realize as I say things like that, it probably just sounds like, wow, that's so lame. Like, but really, oh my, if it looks like it's an old ancient bead, oh my, I don't know, I love it. So 26 and 27 is another lovely bead, turquoise green with a bronze accent. So a little bronze metallic going on there, and then you can see just the turquoise green that is kind of modeled in there. And this also is not translucent. Oh, there's just a teeny bit of coming through there, but no, mostly it's an opaque bead, I would say. So 27, 28. We just have a couple more bicones, and we have these big chunkies, and we're almost done. So 28, this is a really nice red, and he is translucent, as you can see, with a little bit of gold. And this has that nice 1.5 mil leather hole. Ha! I guess you could use other stuff for it too. Like these would be beautiful on beading chain. Could put 3 of them. You could dangle one off a beading chain and make an earring. Just a very pretty color. So red with a little bit of gold. That's lot 28. 29. Nabila is asking about, yes, these are the same cornerless cubes that we sell on the website. We sell 2 sizes, right? This is the basic, and then we sell like the really big one.
The 3.3 millimeter, and we just call it regular and large. So they are on our website, and we do have them at the end of this show. If you guys, if you're
we're getting there.
Stay on a few more minutes, we'll get to some cornerless.
Yeah, because really I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more beads, and then the jump rings and the strands. So that's what we got. So this is matte turquoise, calling it. It's kind of a light turquoise in the background. This also is an opaque bead, and a little bit of golden on the accents, and then dark turquoise in the crevices. Yay. So that is lot 29. And 30, this is a brand new bead for us. And if I have time before we're done, I will go grab a sample that Carol made. So huge hole, 2 mil leather will fit in there. And just another bead that looks like maybe you dug it up. There's 3 of these style. And you can see, see how that, you can see through that? It is you can see the blue through there. And honestly, like one of those hanging on a piece of leather or on beading chain as an earring would just be beautifully distinctive and fun and different. And yeah, just a beautiful matte gold bronze coating on those. That's a little speckled and irregular, so it just looks like yes and amen, because they're just different and fun. And we haven't figured out quite what we're going to do with them as far as kits go, but I'm very compelled to do something with them. So if anybody has some thoughts or ideas to share, let me know. But this is the matte gold finish on the outside and deep blue underneath. So you mostly notice the goldy bronze. This is similar. This is lot 31. And goldy bronze on the outside. And then take a look. Look at that. Oh my goodness. They're more translucent even than the others. So I find it just kind of fun how, like, look at that. So these would be also lovely in so many places. So we're calling it a matte gold with aqua as sort of the undercolor, as you can see. And these are $8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beads on there. And they are just super cute. Honestly, I think you could just put like one of those beads aside, a couple side beads, tie a knot on 2 mil leather and with a button clasp. And it could be the cutest little, if I had had time and not been so sick this week, I would have put together a few more samples. So I apologize, but I know y'all are creative and you can do all that by yourself. You don't need me. But you need this bead. Oh my goodness. This is a really yummy one. So this guy, this is the one Carol made a sample with. And I just call it matte iridescent. I hope the camera is picking those up. It's funny because I'm watching on my phone and it never looks quite like it does on the screen, to be quite honest. Or in real life. And I'm always just comparing what's in my hand or on the screen to, what's in my hand to what's on the screen. And they always look just a little bit different. But this has just beautiful purpley undertones, dark blues, very much like an aurora borealis, truly like you're looking up in the sky sort of bead. It's just got some spatialness to it and texture. So if you look at the bead itself, try to get them up close.
Should I try to get that sample from Carol?
I know right where it is. It's in our office in one of those bins. And so I could go grab it. Well, you'll have to dig through the bins, though, because do you know what you could do, Eddie? How about you do this next one? Just step right in here. I'll let you do 33. That was 32. Do 33. And then 34 is this one, next right there. And I'll go grab it.
All right, I got called up from the bullpen. We're back to the 6x9 roller beads. And these are, we're back to, again, 25 per strand. So these are just absolutely gorgeous, like something you'd see on an emperor wearing or something like that. Just absolutely gorgeous. Solid gold and bright iridescent blue. Lot 34. I believe lot 34 is the one that's in the Skala, the turquoise that's in the Skala. Becky's saying it is. And again, we only have these 5 strands, so don't fight over these if you want some of that. So Becky is back with that other sample.
All right, so you know we love the beads when it comes in and then somebody's like, oh, I just have to stop everything and make something fun with it. And this was what Carol made with the lot 32 bead. So that was this bead that we were talking about earlier. And look how cute that is. So, of course, we often make something that isn't actually fully finished, but it's just a sweet little combo and shows, like, again, these look like beads that are like ancient, dug up from somewhere, right? So there you have an African glass bead from Ghana. That's a lost wax. No, that's a rolled brass bead from Africa. This is a bead from Greece. Look how fun that looks, popped right in there. There's a couple of different raku beads, so raku clay beads, and then some gold spacers, and then Carol's put one of her clay fish beads in there. So how fun is that? Anyway, just wanted to share it, and thank you for your patience. And we're on to 35, right, Eddie?
Yeah, they did 33 and 34.
Thank you. All right, so 35 is, yeah, thank you, Annabella. That is a really pretty bracelet. I would agree. Carol does nice work. She's got good color sense and good spatial scale sense, flow. So her pieces often are striking. So lot 35 is that kind of what we call bronze turquoise. We used that in the Southwest colorway for the not Crossroads, but for RocknRoller. And it's just got a really nice glint, a little metallic glint on it. That's gorgeous. So that's lot 35. And then lot 36 is that bead. Another crusty one that looks like it could have come up from underneath the earth. And here it is up close. So lot 36, lots of good crust. This is that one that we put in a kit, and but it's not on the web. And it's just a little bit of blue. I think there's a bit of translucence. You can see that with the light. Sorta. Little blue. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes. That looks so good. Look at that bead. Yummy good. Anyway. All right. So that's lot 36. Quit nerding out over the beads, Becky. Because it's just beads. All right, 37. These will go really quick. So now we're just going to go through if you need or want any of the small. These are 4x6 millimeter jump rings. Oval jump rings. Yes, thank you. Oop, and I forgot to put that in my note on there, but oh well. So we're just going to go, we've got 4 colors or 5 colors of these, and that'll go quick. So if you would like some brass ones, there's 144. Each of those kits comes with 36. The RocknRoller uses 36 of them. So you could, but we use these. We love these for making chevrons.
Yes. So the answer. Yeah. So the rings that were used in the RocknRoller are all 4x6, and again, lot 37 is brass, and then we're gonna jump to lot 38 is antique copper. And again, these don't have a very prominent seam on them. As Becky mentioned, they kind of get hidden in the RocknRoller design, so you don't have to worry about keeping the seam one way or the other. But if you're really fussy about it, you're welcome to always do that. But it's not as pronounced as in the 5x7 and the 6x8 oval rings. So again, lot 38 is antique copper. And there's no one monitoring the feed right now, so it may take me a minute to go back and like everybody. But lot 39 is antique silver. Lot 39 is antique silver. And lot 40 is silver, shiny silver. And again, 144, enough to make 4 RocknRoller bracelets. If you're using these for chevrons, we usually pack a half a gross or around 70 rings in with the chevrons. So again, you got enough to make 2 chevron bracelets. If you want to try something different than the 6mm textured rings, give it a little bit of a different look. And then lot 41 is the last color of rings we have, or I should say last finish of rings, is the gold. Who loves gold? Like Goldfinger or Austin Powers. I love gold. So $8. And I think we have at least 10 or 15 or 20 of each of these, so everyone will get their however many they want. Again, it just may take me a minute to sort the feed out, but I will do my best to do that.
All right.
Yeah. Sounds good. We're going to pick up with lot number 42.
All right, which is getting into the corners, cubes, and be done. And again, I am so sorry, you guys, for all this coughing. Ugh. I mean, I don't know what else to do. It's been 2 weeks, and I can't just continue not doing stuff, right? But I am living kind of in the basement here at the shop because I don't want to cough on people upstairs. And since we've got a store upstairs and people are up there shopping right now, I don't really want to go up there and cough, so I just get to cough in the background here, so my apologies. Let's see. So Anne is asking, can you please show the chevron and rock bracelet? Or were you the RocknRoller bracelet?
Yeah, I mean, the RocknRoller you can show. Chevrons we have upstairs. Some of the artisan chevrons use the. So if you look on our website and under artisan chevrons, it's sorted by rings, and there's 3 or 4 different designs.
All right, I don't know if you can hear, but on our website under artisan chevrons, there are listed a number of different styles of chevrons that are a little bit different and use different kinds of rings. So Anne, I can show you one of the bracelets that those rings are used in, which is the one that we just did a little bit ago. And then the other, I don't have a sample here, but that's where you could look at it on the website. And if I have a minute, I can run up there. But this uses those those little ovals. So you can see there, they are, that oval is, it's not just a round ring, it's an oval, and that's kind of what keeps the leather lined up and the beads lined up, because the oval forces that. Makes sense? So that's that. I wish I had one on. Sometimes I do, but I don't at the moment. Anyway, right, lot 42 is brass cornerless cubes. 43 is copper cornerless cubes. Yay, copper is so good. And it starts out shiny. It'll take on a little bit of a tarnish like anything does, but it does have an industrial coating. So it won't, I mean, I'm not trying to say it tarnishes in any particular way, just that it, when you use it, here's what I'm trying to say. This is a bright, sparkly, shiny copper, but when you use it and you space them out, it does not look nearly so gaudy as it does like this. So here, this is a bigger copper, a bigger version, and look at that. He just, you know, he puts a nice little glint into things, but he's not quite as like, oh, hello, as all that copper. So when you use them sparingly, they're lovely. Anyway, 43, copper. Sometimes I need to just stop talking, and I will stop coughing. So silver, antique silver, we have 6 of these left. And we carry these regularly, so if you like them and need them at any point, they are easy to order, and just $10 for a 20-inch strand or 24-inch strand? 24-inch strand. So lots of beads on there. I think there's 190 almost. What size cornerless are these?
3.3 millimeter.
3.3 millimeters are what size cornerless cubes those are. And just a good workhorse bead for all kinds of stuff. 1 mil leather fits through there. 1.5 mil leather typically fits through there. And, you know, they're fine on memory wire, beading chain, anything that's smaller as well. So 45, these are gold. Love the gold. I'm using more and more gold in little bits of touches. I never used to use much gold, but it's getting prettier. Another one of those in my old age, I guess. So 45 is gold cornerless cubes. Yes, indeed. And then 46 is black. We don't design with this very much. I don't know why. We probably should, but it's a really fun, distinctive color. Works for lots of different things. You know, we do the traditional ladder weave bracelet that we do uses, typically it uses clay beads or it uses mood beads, and then puts cornerless cube as the, you know, like you go through the clay bead twice and then you put one of these in a ladder weave style. In any of these cornerless cubes, but Ed used to make one with the black bead that really, with the black bead and mood beads, right?
Yeah.
That was really a cool look. Anyway, it's a nice little look as well. So there's that. Is there anything I can go grab to show on screen that anybody needs, or any questions before we go? Otherwise, oh, it's 1:23, and I said 1:30, so we're okay. So we're not too late. Let's see, we'll put some of these back out there as we wrap up. And Eddie, so Ed is going to be catching up. It'll take him a minute, I'm sure. Yeah, that would be nice with a red RocknRoller for sure. I should have done those, but I didn't. When we do kits, I usually do the kits when I know that I have a bunch of beads. And sometimes the vendor just, you know, only has 20 strands or something. So then I don't want to make a kit if I can't make a whole bunch of them. But then that's why we offer them here. So yes, you could do something, that style with any of those roller beads. So again, Crossroads, RocknRoller, Skala. On the web, when you order here today, you order 3 kits, you get 20% off. 5 strands, you get 20% off. If you are watching this and it's after about 1:30 on Friday, the 18th of November, then we are not monitoring the feed, and you should send an email to Becky@diakonosdesigns.com and let me know what you'd like. We'll probably have some of these left and we can reorder most of these things. So with that, I just want to say thank you again for your patience. So sorry to be coughing, and I hope everybody stays well and has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be healthy and enjoy your people, because life is a blessing and it's just way too easy to get caught up in the crazy busyness of things. And I really hope that we all have an opportunity to just relax and reflect and enjoy. And I want you to know how much we really appreciate you joining us and being part of what we're doing here in Happy Beadland in Stoughton.
And just a reminder that we're going to be meeting again Thursday night, December 1st. Thursday night, December 1st. My long overdue 40 to 70% off super sale jewelry. I've already picked the show. I've got 58 lovely items. I got some amazing things. And almost everything in that show is one-off, so there's just one item. So, but 40 to 70% off super sale jewelry, 6 p.m. The 1st of December. And then we're planning on the 16th of December, possibly bringing back the best of the Stashorama. In other words, there's still some gorgeous strands that we pulled from that show, and some gorgeous pendants and project starter kits. So we're looking to do that on the 16th, and then back on the 29th of December, we are looking to do. There was a ton of chain in that with that private collection, and we're going to be doing the chain as well as, again, some of the inspiration boxes and some of the pendants and cabs and focals. So anyway, that's all we have, and we will again work on these invoices this afternoon and evening, and we'll ship these tomorrow. But again, we thank, if you're done shopping, let us know, and we thank you. And if you have any add-ons, please let us know as soon as possible or via email. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Love you. God bless. Oh, I see a quick note. How do you pay? We will invoice you and send you an email, and we have yours, Nabila.
No, yeah, we have Nabila's.
Yeah.
Unless it's changed.
Yeah, if your email has changed since you've last ordered, then just send me an email and let me know. And that'll do it. Thanks, everybody.